Joe Biden's legacy of accomplishment over the past 3 years is unmatched.
Today, we heard from Vice President Kamala Harris in her first public event since President Biden dropped out of the presidential race. With less than a month to go until the Democratic National Convention, the vice president now plans to run against former President Donald Trump. Vice President Harris shattered fundraising records in her first 24 hours running for president.
Donors across the country rushed more than $81 million to help Harris win in November. And our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is here to recap the vice president's big splash into the race. Mark.
Hey, Kelly and Mike. Vice President Kamala Harris is racking up record support in short order. It seems the entire Democratic Party is lining up behind her in a swift show of force. But it's not just the big household names you might recognize. Last night, a grassroots group called Win with Black Women hosted a Zoom call. Word quickly started spreading through group chats, and before you knew it, tens of thousands of women had logged on to show their support for Kamala Harris.
Support could also mean getting 44,000 women across the country together.
Assistant House Majority Leader Jahan Gordon Booth is an Illinois delegate to the Democratic National Convention.
The fact of the matter of it is that black women are the base of the Democratic Party.
She joined a Zoom call Sunday night that just kept growing and growing, a sign of life from the grassroots.
A jolt of energy with the selfless action that President Biden took.
Missouri Democratic Party Chairman Russ Carnahan said President Joe Biden's exit brought new energy into this presidential race.
The last 3.5 weeks were some of the toughest weeks that we've experienced ever in the Democratic Party.
At the White House Monday, Vice President Kamala Harris stepped in for the president, who's still undergoing Paxlovid treatment for COVID.
Our president, Joe Biden, wanted to be here today. He is feeling much better and recovering fast, and he looks forward to getting back on the road.
Gordon Booth acknowledged Biden's disastrous debate performance was wearing on Democrats.
Frankly, it was depressing that someone who had done so much in their role as president just couldn't get the gas in the summer before the election to really take us to where we needed to go.
And with his move to step aside coming just 4 weeks before the DNC, an AP report now suggests Harris may already have all the delegates she needs lined up to secure her nomination.
You would typically want to do something like this about a year ago. If there are voices that want to come to the forefront, they should be given a path to come to the forefront. But as for me and my vote as a delegate, it goes to Kamala Harris.
Monday morning, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, recently floated as a potential candidate to replace Joe Biden, backed Harris. In a statement, Pritzker said it's past time we shatter that highest and hardest of glass ceilings and finally elect a woman as president of the United States. President Biden is slated to address the nation on camera later this week at some date to be determined. Meanwhile, top Republicans in the U.S. Senate are circulating a memo instructing their GOP members on how best to attack Vice President Harris as too liberal, weird, and to try and blame her for the surge at the southern border.
Mark, thanks. And a reminder that Mark will be at the Democratic National Convention next month. He'll have live reports from Chicago starting August 19th.